Hey everyone, I'm Drew.
And I'm Delco.
Welcome to the D&D show. Welcome back for another video. I don't know if you've been following along, but if you haven't, one of the things we've been talking about, our main theme has been compassion and how that seems to be missing a lot these days in many people around us. And when you look at society in general, there's really no wondering why. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, but as we were kind of getting ready for today, we don't spend a whole lot of time rehearsing, or we don't really go through a script or anything like that. We just sort of say, hey, what are we going to talk about in our next video? And we just kind of sort of stumble through it, I guess, at times. But today, something interesting had happened. I had already had some thoughts about what we were going to talk about. And then we were at the shop this afternoon, and there was a guy waiting, one of our customers waiting on an order to come in, and he was at the counter, and I just mentioned to Delco. He said, you know what, we might as well just ask the question. So we asked this guy, pretty simple question. Just said, why do you feel it is that people seem to be lacking so much compassion these days? It's interesting because one of the first words he used was a word we've used several times in quite a few of these videos. And he said people have just become desensitized. He had no clue about the show, what we're doing here. We actually told him about it. Delco shot him a link to one of the videos. But it's just kind of confirmation for me that, I mean, I don't think we're that far off in anything we've been talking about. And for just somebody like that to say, just to use that very word, was just kind of like, wow, it blew our minds. And there was one thing I was kind of thinking about specifically, and I'll share that in a minute, but just so you know, it's kind of graphic. You've probably seen it before. It didn't happen that long ago, but I'll share that with you in a second. We wanted to look up the meaning of the word desensitized, and it says to make indifferent, unaware, or the like in feeling. So basically, people just don't seem to care anymore these days.
No.
They have no respect for other people. They have no respect for life in general. Another thing this guy said was people just don't care. And a lot of people really don't. And if you look around, that really seems to be the case. So it's sad. It's unfortunate. We just had a couple weeks ago, we had somebody over there in Virginia or wherever it was that plowed through a group of people in their car just because there was a rally going on. When you look at that kind of thing, a few months back, we had the guy that was upset, driving around, killed the man, recorded himself killing an old man, a harmless, innocent old man that was minding his own business, walking down the street, walked up to this guy, shot him in the head while he recorded it. And that's just evil. That's all there is to it. And I guess just kind of gives me more reason to do what we do. I really don't care who likes it and who doesn't, I guess. I'm not really trying to be, we're not doing this to be a YouTube sensation or anything like that. But we just feel this is a very important topic. So before I share what I'm going to share here in a little bit, I'm just going to turn it over to Delco.
And not only is it an important topic, but it's important to know in what time of Earth's history we're living in. I mean, like with the calamities and stuff like that, with the hurricanes and stuff in diverse places. It even says that in Matthew 24 that these things are come to pass. So that's important. What Drew said about where we are and what's going on. People don't care. That's exactly what we were talking about. And for me as well, that was confirmation that we had the guy use that very word, because me and Drew looked at each other like that's exactly what we started this whole D&D show on, was how people are so desensitized, how are we desensitized? Is what we are putting in. Like me and Drew said, garbage in is garbage out. So if you're feeding yourself with a positive attitude, with a positive things, then you will have positive things come out. But if you're constantly fueling your mind and whatever you're doing that is negative, it's going to come out that way. And it takes time to be, more positive, especially if you have more negative than positive outweigh. But it's a choice that you have to make to say, okay, I'm gonna do something different, and I'm going to reprogram myself. It's just like doing a computer. You wipe it out and then you just redo it. We can do the same. God said, through all things, we can do all things through Christ, which strengthens us. And I believe that we can do that. We can reprogram ourselves. It's just a choice that we have to make to say, okay, I want to do better, and I'm not going to be desensitized by the cares of this life. Because you said a guy, yeah, you like I told you, you have to be, like, your mind has to be really, like, on the other side for you to just decide that you're going to hop in a car and just plow through a group of people, or that you're going to record yourself walking up to somebody and shooting them in the head just for no reason, or just because you are having a bad day or you're going through something. So I guess you feel like you want to just take it out on other people. You have to be very desensitized to do something like that. And we're talking about something else that struck my mind. I can't recall at the moment, but if I think about it, I'll share it. But we'll go ahead and go with what Drew had to show as right now.
All right. Well, one of the things we were talking about was how most of this seems to be driven by, and we always say it, it almost sounds like we're beating a dead horse or like a broken record, but the social media.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
I mean, the media in general, the news, just the stuff we take in, like you said, garbage in, garbage out. And, what I'm about to show you is kind of gross. Like I said, you probably already seen it, but this is the kind of stuff some people think is funny these days. Some people don't. Some people are, offended by it, which I can understand that. But, I mean, just to think that somebody actually thinks this is, no matter what kind of point you're trying to make, that's not the way to do it. I mean, that's like you said, your mind has to be, you have to be like way on the other side to even think of something like this. But this is kind of how so many people have become lately, and it's just sad. It really is, because that's how we view other people. I mean, when we can go that far with it, just look at that. Who thinks that way? Who thinks that's actually even funny? That's not funny.
No, it's not.
And,
not at all.
This isn't some soapbox we're trying to be on, but this is just to make the point in general. When that guy said that, I was already thinking about this particular incident and all the others we've already talked about, where it's sad to watch. It's sad to see.
So basically what I said I was going to bring back around was when I was talking to Drew, we were talking about how communication is lacking, and we were talking about the social media, where we were saying that people don't even know how to communicate anymore. So when you go to say that people are being desensitized by stuff, I even took it a little further and said that we don't even know how to communicate. People only can text each other and say, okay, I can have a conversation this way, but face to face, people are losing it. So basically, I brought that up to say that what we're putting in is what will come out. So it's like being a little kid and learning how to ride a bike. If you stop riding a bike, you got to reteach yourself a couple of things, like, okay, I got to, like balance, or I got to do this, or I got to do that. It's the same with communication, that the media is taking away the ability to be face to face with each other and to communicate. So if we are not communicating, if we're not being able to sit and talk to each other, that's one of the very things that will lack it. Just the same as if you're being desensitized, if you're putting something in your brain that will cause you to be not so sensitive, as far as in like that picture we just saw. Like, some people will look at that and say, that's just no big deal, but it is a big deal. The only reason you would think that that's not a big deal is because you have been desensitized, because you've been looking at it for so long that you allowed it to be okay, and it's not okay. And And with that, I'll let Drew share his next point of what he has.
Well, and something else that just came to mind. One of the verses is, "If you so much as even hate a man, you've already killed him in your heart."
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, to even go there, to say what does it take for you to actually hate somebody?
Mm.
And I think that's going to be some of the other points that we talk about in some of our other videos, is the hate, the anger. I mean, obviously, look around, all these hate crimes and everything else. It's all you read about on the news or in the newspapers. You watch it on the news. You see it just scrolling through Facebook. I'm sorry, but I am not wasting my time and energy on that stuff, because there's so many other things that are more important, and it's just nothing but a big distraction. And it comes between families and friends and everything, and it's just time for that crap to stop. It really is. So along with that, I wanted to share this verse here, because what we've been talking about, one of the other videos we mentioned, what you focus on draws you in.
Mm-hmm.
And this verse here says, "Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man." And it's not even so much, it is definitely not trying to take away from that, but take it one step further. Your words come out many times in actions, and that's when it's really a problem. It's one thing to say something; it's another thing to actually do it, and act out in certain ways just because you hate somebody. So it's just time to change. It's time to change, and we say it in every video. We're going to keep saying it. So our challenge, I guess, one, we want to hear from you. Like I said, we post this on Facebook and YouTube, but now I want to hear from some of you people that actually watch it. Some of you have shared it. We appreciate all the support and the feedback we've been getting. There's, so many more things we want to talk about, but I guess I want to challenge you, like we always do, to just, turn off the news, turn off the Facebook, turn off everything that's going to just feed the machine, that's going to distract you from doing what you got to do. What do you?
I would say, and if it's not, and I would go with him to say, because if it's not fueling anything positive, then you don't need it. And I would say to turn it off as well. That's why I don't have, Facebook. It's just because it's just like I just hear so much stuff. I don't have time. I don't have time. I really don't have time for it. But and that's just with anything in your life. Whatever is fueling you to be negative, turn it off. I mean, do something positive. Do something that you like. Do something that could help somebody. Don't let the cares of this life desensitize you. If it's gonna be the news and you gotta think. I mean, that's all really of what people want to see is like the negativity. I mean, like let's do stuff that is positive, that can uplift and help each other, instead of being negative and stuff all the time. So that will be our challenge. That will be my challenge. Just to try to be more positive, and see if you can help somebody that is having a struggle to be a better person. To be better people.
Definitely. I had a buddy of mine, I was on Facebook for a minute. I saw one of the little memes or whatever that people share, and it was about this Conor McGregor and the Mayweather fight that just took place over the weekend. And it showed him standing face to face, and it said all the billions of dollars or whatever that was spent for one fight. Imagine how many lives that money could have saved, or imagine how many lives that money could have changed. But it didn't, because we're so selfish and so absorbed in being entertained and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, I like, MMA fights and stuff like that. But the numbers, when you really think about it, I mean, you can change a lot of lives with a couple bucks, really. And this isn't about money, but it's just the thought in general. So, like Delco said, do something nice for somebody. Just try that and see how you feel afterwards. And then try it again, and it just makes a huge difference. So with that, I think I'm good on this one.
I'm good. By beholding, you will become changed.
There you go.
So try it.
Amen. So thanks again for watching. like the videos, comments. We want to hear from you. Um, what is it for you that you feel keeps people from lacking compassion these days? And we want to hear it. You know, this isn't geared towards any one person or one group, like we've said before. This is for, you know, you may be a non-believer, you may be a believer, you may just be checking things out, whatever. But we're just putting it out there for anybody. So we want to hear your feedback. So talk to us. Let us know. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.
See ya.
See ya. Have a good one.
Have a good one.